Hello again everyone, Marcus here. I review stuff today. I'm reviewing the song Confessions Part 2 by Usher. This is part of my ongoing series where I'm listening to songs that come from albums that are on Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. The way the series works is I'll record videos for usually two, sometimes three songs from each album, and then eventually I'll go and listen to the rest of the album on my own, and I'll come back and let you know what I thought. And so this particular song, Confessions Part 2, comes from album number 432 on the list, Usher's Confessions, which was released by Arista in 2004. Usher was already a star in 2004, a sly singer and slick dancer whose R&B hits found a home with pop fans. But Confessions was which is one of the last 10 million plus sellers ever made, turned him into an unstoppable juggernaut. Usher worked with a murderer's row of R&B and hip-hop talent, from Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis to Jermaine Dupri and Just Blaze. The album moves easily from club records like the Lil Jon and Ludacris assisted smash Yeah, which I feel like everyone who has ever listened to music ever has probably heard at this point, to Forgive Me for Cheating ballads to Love You Forever duets. So that's the thing with this one, is that I've heard a couple Usher songs before, not necessarily willingly, and that's not to say that I don't necessarily like his music. It's just like in 2004, being a 14-year-old, Usher wasn't exactly the kind of music I was listening to, although I had many friends who, obviously loved this album when it first came out and then well after. But even going to middle school dances, again, being 14 in 2004, I guess maybe high school dances, whatever it was. Sorry, adjusting my camera. You would hear Yeah like everywhere. So again, that's why I'm not doing that one, I guess. It's because I've heard it a million times, and you still hear it from time to time when you go to like sporting events, dances, things like that. It's one of those mainstays now in like dance and pop music, right? So anyway, I don't know if I've heard Confessions Part 2. It's a pretty popular track. I mean, the music video, as I was trying to grab a version to listen to on YouTube, the music video has like 200 million views, which is absolutely insane. That's an insane number of views. So obviously, huge song. There's a chance I've heard it before, but hoping I haven't, and that way it'll be a true reaction. But I guess I'll let you know at the end if it's not. So anyway, let's jump in. Confessions Part 2 by Usher. Here we go.
These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I can say, my chick on the side says she got one on the way. These are my confessions. Man, I'm thrown and I don't know what to do. I guess I gotta keep part 2 of my confessions. If I'm gonna tell it, then I gotta tell it all. Damn, they cried when I got that phone call. I'm so thrown, I don't know what to do but to keep part 2 of my confessions. Now this gon' be the hardest thing I think I ever had to do. Got me talking to myself, asking how I'm gon' tell you about that chick on part 1 I told y'all I was creeping with. Say she's 3 months pregnant and she's keeping it. The first thing that came to mind was you. Second thing was, how do I know if it's mine and is it true? Third thing was me wishing that I never did what I did. How I ain't ready for no kid and bye-bye to a relationship. These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I can say, my chick on the side said she got one. These are my confessions. Man, I'm thrown and I don't know what to do now. I guess I gotta keep part 2 of my confessions. If I'm gonna tell it, then I gotta tell it all. Damn, they cried when I got that phone call. I'm so I don't know what to do but to keep part 2 of my confessions. Stuck on stupid trying to figure out when, what, and how I'ma let this come out of my mouth. Said it ain't gonna be easy, but I need to stop thinking, contemplating, be a man and get it over with. I'm riding in my whip, racing to her place, talking to myself, preparing to tell her to her face. She opened up the door and didn't wanna come near me. I said, one second, baby, please hear me. These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I can say, my chick on the side. Said she got one on the way. So my confession, man,
So
I'm
gone,
thrown and I
so
don't know
gone.
what to do.
What you do?
Guess I gotta give you part two of my confession. If I'm gonna tell it, then I gotta tell it all. Damn near cried when I got that phone call.
When I got it,
I'm so thrown,
didn't know what to do.
I don't know what to do, but
I need to tell
part
you,
two of my
baby.
confession.
This by far is the hardest thing I think I've ever had to do. To tell you, the woman I love, that I'm having a baby by a woman that I barely even know. I hope you can accept the fact that I'm man enough to tell you this. And hopefully you'll give me another chance. This ain't about my career. This ain't about my life. It's about us.
These are my
Please.
confessions. Just when I thought I said all I can say, my chick on the side says she got one on the way. These are my confessions. Man, I'm thrown and I don't know what to do. I guess I gotta give part two of my confessions. If I'm gonna tell it, then I gotta tell it all. Damn near cried when I got that phone call. I'm so thrown, I don't know what to do, but to give you part two of my confessions.
So I can confidently say that if I have heard that song before, it definitely didn't stick with me because that sounded like something I'd never heard before. It sounded like I wanted to say fresh, but this song is almost 20 years old now, so maybe not fresh, but fresh to me, a new to me type song. But yeah, and again, I know I went super out of order here because there is obviously Confessions Part 1. I jumped straight ahead to Confessions Part 2. And the reason I did that is because Part 2 is like a lot more popular on Apple Music. Typically what I do when I start looking at which songs to react to from each album, I typically go with what's the most streamed on Apple Music because that's what I use for streaming. So obviously Yeah was like number one. Again, that's a mainstay of music nowadays, and has been for like the last, again, like 20 years. So obviously I skipped that one, but this was up there as one of the most streamed songs from Usher like ever. So again, that's kind of why I decided to skip Confessions 1 and jump straight into Confessions 2. With all that said, let's take a look at the lyrics. Obviously, I'm missing some context here, but I'm just going to go based off of what I've heard in this song so far. And I do want to read this about section for the song. It says, Confessions Part 2 is a song by R&B singer Usher, produced by Jermaine Dupri and Brian Michael Cox for Usher's fourth album, Confessions. Written by Usher, Dupri, and Cox, the song is a confession of a man to his woman about his impregnated mistress, a continuation of Confessions Part 1, which relates to a man's infidelity. Its personal content evoked rumors and early responses from the public even before its release, believing that Usher was asserting the truth. However, Dupri divulged that the story behind the album is his, and Usher explained that he only took inspiration from his friends' similar experiences. Interesting. Well, I think lyrically we kind of all can tell that that's what the song is about. It's pretty straightforward, but it's interesting to see that someone was so willingly wanting to say like, hey, this song's about me. Again, being Jermaine Dupri and not Usher, but it's just very interesting that they're willing to come forward like that. I guess maybe to protect Usher and his public image. So anyway, let's see. Watch this. These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I could say, my chick on the side said she got one on the way. These are my confessions, man. I'm throwed and I don't know what to do. That word "throwed" is definitely one that I remember hearing and using in the 2000s. What a great word that has kind of like faded into obscurity from, just as slang does. Slang, evolves and changes over time. I just think that's funny. That's again, that's one of those that stayed in the past. So, man, I'm throwed and I don't know what to do. I guess I gotta give you part 2 of my confessions. If I'm gonna tell it, then I'm gonna tell it all. Damn near cried when I got that phone call. I'm so throwed, I don't know what to do, but to give you part 2 of my confessions. Now this gonna be the hardest thing I think I ever had to do. Got me talking to myself, asking how I'm going to tell you about that chick on part 1 I told y'all I was creeping with. So again, I'm obviously missing context, but I'm wondering if the part 1, the actual confession in part 1 was, hey, I've been cheating on you, right? That's the confession. And now confession part 2 is, oh, not only did I cheat on you, but now there's a baby on the way too, right? So said she's 3 months pregnant and she's keeping it. The first thing that came to mind was you. Second thing was, how do I know if it's mine and is it true? Third thing was me wishing that I never did what I did. How I ain't ready for no kid, and bye bye to our relationship. These are my confessions just when I thought I said all I could say. My chick on the side says she got one on the way. These are my confessions, man. I'm thrilled and I don't know what to do. I guess I gotta give you part two of my confessions. If I'm gonna tell it, then I gotta tell it all. Damn near cried when I got the phone call. I'm so thrilled, I don't know what to do. I don't know, but to give you part two of my confession. Sitting here stuck on stupid, trying to figure out what, and how I'ma let this come out of my mouth. Said it ain't gonna be easy, but I need to stop thinking, contemplating, be a man and get it over with. Over with. I'm riding in my whip, racing to her place, talking to myself, preparing to tell her to her face. She opened up the door and didn't want to come near me. I said, 1 second, baby, please hear me. So, again, I'm wondering if part one of the confession, she already hates him, right? And it's like, all right, here's part two. And she already don't want to see him, but he's like, I got to talk to you about this, you know? These are my confessions just when I thought I said all I could say. My chick on the side said she got one on the way. Chick on the side, these are my confessions. Man, I'm so thrilled, so gone, so gone. And I don't know what to do. I guess I got to give you part two of my confessions. If I'm going to tell it, then I got to tell it all. Damn near cry when I got the phone call. I'm so thrilled, I don't know what to do. This by far is the hardest thing I think I've ever had to do, to tell you, the woman I love, that I'm having a baby by a woman that I barely even know. Which, again, I think I kind of laughed when he said that line, because it's like, well, if you love the woman so much, then why did you cheat on her? You know? So and it made me stop and think, is this sort of like when you think of like Shaggy's I Didn't Do It, or it wasn't me, where a lot of people picture that song as being like a cheater's anthem, right? And something that like, oh, it's cool, like it's cool to cheat, you know, where the song was actually written to sort of not condone, but the opposite, to basically not condone the cheater's lifestyle. I'm missing the word I need to use here, but you get what I'm saying. And so I wonder if it's like, that's sort of the irony of it, right? It's like, you're the woman I love, but I did all these bad things on the side, right? It's like, obviously you don't actually love her then, right? So I hope that it's not taken as like, oh, this poor man, you know, and taken more of a, hey, this poor woman who we claim to love and then cheated on, right? So I don't know. I'm interested to see how people have kind of taken that over the years. But anyway, let's see. To tell the woman that I love, that I'm having a baby by a woman that I barely even know. I hope that you can accept the fact that I'm man enough to tell you this, and hopefully you'll give me another chance. This ain't about my career. This ain't about my life. It's about us, please. These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I could say. My chick on the side says she got one on the way. These are my confessions. Yeah, and it kind of finishes out with the chorus there. So honestly, it's pretty straightforward and to the point, I think, right? It's obviously has a clear story to tell, which, you know, I generally like when a song has a story to tell, right? It's got something to say to you, the listener. So I appreciated that about this song. Not a song that thankfully I've ever had to relate to on a personal level. But with all that said, obviously a lot of people, this song probably speaks to a lot of people in one way or another. Again, 200 plus million views on YouTube. It's insane. So yeah, I mean, lyrically, I thought it was pretty well written. I'm gonna give it at least a thumb up. Maybe I'll do two. Honestly, I don't think there was anything egregious or bad in there. So two thumbs up. As far as instrumentation and vocals goes, vocally, I think he's got a great voice. Again, Usher's not one of those artists that I had ever really listened to, minus a few songs here and there, right? But I think he's got a great voice. There's some moments throughout where most of the instrumentation drops and you get this sort of acapella or this sort of harmonizing that happens that I think sounds lovely, absolutely wonderful. And I think that probably has also lent to the popularity of this song, right? There's a lot of great vocalization throughout. That guitar throughout too, I thought was really interesting. I really keyed into that and honestly really enjoyed the way it was played. Some great piano as well, and then I think the beat was pretty typical, like I feel like of R&B tracks around this time. So I don't know if Usher was sort of the pioneer behind that sort of thing, or if that is just kind of your standard R&B type track. But regardless, I think instrumentally, vocally, this one was really enjoyable. I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. in that department. As far as replay value goes, for me, again, R&B is not really something that I listen to a whole lot, and I'll be honest. And I have a couple R&B songs on my playlist. I don't listen to them a whole lot, just every so often. And I think this is going to fall into that category, right? If you follow me for long enough, I'm kind of a rock and metal guy. But I mix it up every so often. I like a little bit of rap, hip hop, country, bluegrass. I like a little bit of R&B, electronic music. So there's always room on my playlist for just things that I don't always listen to. But with that said, they don't always get listened to, right? It's just sort of an every so often type thing. So is this gonna hit the playlist? Yeah, probably. But am I gonna listen to it all the time? Probably not. Still going to give it a thumb up. Overall, a great song, and another great entry into this series. Really enjoying sort of jumping in the time machine and transporting my mind back to 2004 when this album was just released, and it was huge again with like a lot of my friends. I remember talking about Usher at the time with my friends and how I didn't listen to that kind of thing. I don't know. It's weird being a 14-year-old. So anyway, with all that said, really enjoying this series as always for kind of making me step out of my comfort zone. So with all that said, as always, if you enjoyed the music, go support the artists, go listen to their music wherever you can, and if you enjoyed what you saw here on the channel, just consider supporting the channel. Do all the normal stuff you do on YouTube, like and subscribe and comment with your requests, because I still take those always. And then, of course, you can also check the description to follow me on Twitch, TikTok, or Instagram. All right, guys, that's going to be it from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.